Hey guys, it's Ben with Upstart HR, and I hope you're doing well today. I want to talk a little bit about stress at work. I just picked up this book, Is Work Killing You? A Doctor's Prescription for Treating Workplace Stress. And I don't feel a lot of stress at my job, but I know that a lot of people do. There are some weeks when I do, big things coming up, big projects, a lot of deadlines or last minute things that pop out of nowhere. So I'm no stranger to workplace stress, but for the majority of the time I'm pretty much so carefree that it doesn't stick to me. But you know what? My wife's a teacher, and if you know anything about teachers, they bring a lot of things home with them, both mentally and physically, things to do. But they're always thinking about their classrooms and their children and how to make it better. And I see that from an entirely different angle, workplace stress there. So I want to talk a little bit about it, a little about some of the things that I've seen in the book, and just let you know about some of that. So at one point early on, I learned about a new concept. It's something pretty common sense. I didn't know it had a name. It's called the Yerkes datsun law, the stress performance curve, and it's basically the standard distribution curve. And at the bottom end is low stress and low performance. You start increasing the stress and performance goes up to a peak. And then at some point, there's a tipping point where the increased stress starts making your performance actually go down. So in very short words, for those of us that might need them, some stress is good, a lot of stress is not. And so the author here, David Posen, puts forth 3 key areas where stress at work is literally killing us. It's causing people to have high blood pressure and strokes, and coming home and taking out their family because they're distressed and upset, and it's causing so many issues. It would be hard to tie back how many issues it causes in our society as a whole, just because people leave work, or even when they're going to work, they're stressed to the very max. So the 3 areas he talks about are volume, velocity, and abuse. And I'm just going to touch on each of those areas kind of quickly. As far as volume, most of us know that one, just workload overload. I'm doing the job of 2 people. My company can't afford to hire anyone else to do this job, so I'm having to take up the slack. People not having a good work-life balance. And the way that I put that to people when I'm talking to them, I tell them that where I work, that we help them fit their work into their life, not their life into their work. And that's kind of the way that I've looked at it for a long time. Is there's one of those in there that's really important, and the other one is just something you go to and do during the day. The rest of it's your life, and that stuff matters the most, and it should. And then the last one for volume is just the inefficiency of piling on and piling on and piling on things, whether they're needed or not, whether they're critical or not. I think that we've done a really good job at work of stripping down and focusing just on the things that are going to serve our customers better. Sometimes we go for those extras, those nice-to-have things, but that's never going to take the place of something that is going to be a valuable tool for our customers. So just the inefficiency of piling all those things on and knowing that you're never going to dig your way back out through all of them anyway. The next one's velocity. And if you've ever been away from your desk for a day and you come back and you have 50, 100, 150 emails, you know exactly what velocity means in those terms. Just the sheer number of things coming down at you, the speed of them, basically. One of the quotes in the book that was just like a section title or something, but it hit me so hard, was, you don't have to be 50% better than the competition. You can be 5% better and still win out, still beat them if you do it right. People are running 100 miles an hour saying, we've got to do this and do that and do this and do that, and we've got to be so much better than the other people out there. But if you're 5–10% better than the competition and you can show that and prove your point pretty well, then That's enough in most cases to get the sale, to get the business. The other one that hit me kind of hard is the multitasking myth. Multitasking is not going to help you. I remember back when you'd see job postings and things that say multitasking. We want someone that's a good multitasker, and you're still, if you look at half the job postings out there, you'll see that. You really don't want a good multitasker, because that just means they do 4 or 5 things really crappy, not doing one thing really well. I'd rather find someone who can take and focus on this problem and knock that sucker out. If it takes you an hour to knock that thing out and you do nothing else for that time, awesome. That's what I need. You know what? Being able to shift gears after that is done, or after, setting up some time blocks so that you focus on one thing and then you focus on another, so that you can give your best and full attention to either one of those. That's how it needs to be. The myth of multitasking is that you can do, all these things. I can juggle this, I can do it all really well. But if you're a stop, you're never going to get really, doing that, you're never going to get really deep and really detailed into any of them. Whew. Anyway, sorry about that. Jump off the soapbox. As far as abuse, they talk about that people leave bosses, not companies. Or not jobs, sorry. People say in surveys that they leave their manager, not the actual job. For most people, they love the work they're doing, and I know plenty of people that are in that exact situation. They love the work that they do, and they would do it all day. Someone would do it without getting paid. They love it that much. But their boss is so terrible that they'll leave that job and go take one that they don't even enjoy, just so they don't have that stress anymore. And that's a terrible place to be. That's on a lot of companies, to look at your managers and make sure they're doing the right things. The other one is problem people. They need to go. The ones that are grading on people. If they're a great producer but they suck at working with others, they need to leave. It doesn't matter if your top salesperson is just grates on everyone. He's rude, inconsiderate, treats everyone like crap. You know what? Find someone else who's a really good team player to get the rest of your salespeople up to a higher level. I don't know. We love to cling to, they're our superstar, we've got to hold on to them. But if that holding on to that superstar is making you lose, other employees because they're so disenfranchised with their organization, are they really worth it? I don't know. It's up to you to find out. The last one, under abuse, something that kills me, something that drives me absolutely crazy. It's my biggest pet peeve is office politics. Someone's always got to be, sharing something they've heard or whatever else. And I have a good friend who now I'm going to blank on it. My good friend Krista Francis. She is the HR director for Jubilee, which is a direct care facility up in Maryland. And she said that her way of responding to that, when someone comes and says, did you hear what happened to Bob, or did you hear what Bob said, or coming to share some juicy piece of information, she will turn it around on them and say, wow, what did Bob say when you told him you heard that? And every time, they'll turn white and just kind of back away. They don't know how to respond to that, because they realize, whether they realized it before or not, at that point they realize that they're doing the wrong thing. And just turning it around on them like that and saying, how did that person that you're talking about feel when you told them what you heard? Because 99% of the time they have not said anything to that person, not if they're going to you and sharing it. And that's a great way to kind of fight off some of those things and get people to stop and look internally and say, you know what, I would feel terrible if someone's walking around saying these things about me, whether they're true or not. Anyway, just a few thoughts on why work might be killing us, and how we might need to make some changes to address that. Anyway, if you're interested in checking the book out, Is Work Killing You? It's on Amazon and all the websites. Enjoy. Thanks, guys.